Hello everybody, how are you all? I hope you are all fine. Today we are going to learn about a new chapter number 16, Air Around Us. Okay, so let us learn about the lesson. Children, open your textbook at page number 243, chapter number 16, Air Around Us. So first, about air. Have you ever felt the presence of air? It is not visible, but still it has mass and it occupies space, isn't it? Yes. So now let us learn about this air in detail. Okay. First about atmosphere. Okay. So what do you mean by atmosphere? The envelope of air surrounding the surface of earth. What is atmosphere? The envelope of air surrounding the surface of earth is called as atmosphere. Clear? Then we are going to learn about properties of air. Properties of air. Air is invisible. It is invisible. We cannot see. Is it not? Yes. Then air is a matter. Air is a matter. Air is colorless and air is odorless. Okay, odorless and tasteless, without smell. Okay, and tasteless. Clear? Yes. Then composition of air. Next thing we are going to learn about the composition of air. We are going to learn the form of circle chart. So out of the whole entire air, nitrogen occupies 78%. 78%. Oxygen 21%. Oxygen 21%. Carbon dioxide 0.03%. Argon and neon, everything in total it is 1%. Clear? In total it is 1%. So here nitrogen occupies the majority of the air. Is it not? Composition of air. So that's what about composition of air. We'll learn about this in detail. Yes children, next about oxygen cycle. So what is oxygen cycle? The consumption and release of oxygen in nature is called as oxygen cycle. The usage, how much oxygen is getting utilized and how much oxygen is getting released, about that the cycle we are going to learn. That's what consumption and release of oxygen in nature. Clear? Next thing we are going to learn about uses of air. Uses of air. So there are so many uses of air. So we are going to learn about dispersal of pollen grains, and then water cycle, and then movement of aeroplanes and helicopters. Okay. So there are so many uses. We are going to learn about all the uses of air in detail. Then about air pollution. Hope you all know what do you mean by air pollution. We are going to learn about all these things in detail in this chapter. So let us start the chapter now. Children, now let us start the chapter Air Around Us. Chapter number 16, Air Around Us. So first we should know about atmosphere. What do you know about atmosphere? It's nothing but the thick blanket of air surrounding the earth. Okay, now let us learn about that. We live on earth and our earth is surrounded by a thick blanket of air. Thick blanket of air. The envelope of air surrounding the surface of the earth is called atmosphere. The atmosphere extends to a height of about 500 km above the earth's surface. It acts as a shield. For earth and protects us from UV rays, that is ultraviolet rays. Then it is also responsible for maintaining water cycle in the nature. It is also responsible for the water cycle, for maintaining the water cycle. Then it maintains the temperature of earth. It maintains the temperature of earth. Clear, children? Yes. Children, now let us learn about properties of air. So, as you all know, air is basically invisible. We cannot see that, isn't it? Yes. Air is invisible, but we can feel air. Air is present everywhere, isn't it? Air is present everywhere. We cannot see air, but still we may notice its presence. We can feel it, isn't it? Yes. The movement of the leaves of a tree or moving blades of a windmill. In all these things we can notice that the moving air, that is called wind. We can see the wind. We can feel the wind, isn't it? Yes, moving air is called wind. So, it can be strong enough to even uproot trees. Clear? So, basically air is invisible, but we can feel air everywhere surrounding us, isn't it? Yes. So, that is the first property. Now, about the second property, air is matter. So, what do you mean by matter? Anything that has mass and occupies space is called matter. It has mass and occupies space is called matter. So, in that way air is matter. Clear? Then air is colorless, odorless and tasteless. Colorless, odorless and tasteless. So, air sometimes smell good or bad. Sometimes it smell good or bad. If you are opening a garbage bag, you might get a bad smell, or if you are using perfume, you might get good smell. But naturally air exists, it does not have any odor or smell. But if you are adding some substances to that, automatically you will be getting good or bad smell according to the substance what you are adding to air. Okay, that is what pure air has no smell. It has no smell or odor. Then it is the presence of some other substance that imparts an odor to air. So, the additional substance is giving the smell, is giving the either good or bad smell. Clear? So, that is what about the third property. Air is colorless, odorless and tasteless. Clear? Yes. Children, now you can see the picture for composition of air. Composition of air. So, you can see a circle chart here. So, the blue colored region describes in the circle nitrogen, light blue, okay, 78% of nitrogen. So, this occupies majority of the circle. Then white color occupies 21%, that is oxygen. And then blue, dark blue. So, this is 1%. So, this 1% is a combination of helium, argon, neon, carbon dioxide, some more rare gases. So, we are going to learn about that. Air is basically a mixture of gases consisting mainly of nitrogen 78%, oxygen 21% and the rest 1% that includes carbon dioxide 0.03% and other gases such as argon and neon, water vapor, and then dust particles. All these things include 1%. So, all these things are present in the air. Clear? However, their percentage in air vary from one place to other and from time to time. So, we are going to learn about each and everything in detail. Children, now we are going to learn about the first part of the air, that is nitrogen. Nitrogen occupies 78% of the air. So, we are going to learn about that. That is nitrogen, it occupies nearly 4/5 of the space, 4/5 of the space that is filled by air, that is filled by air. Okay. Then it controls burning during combustion. It controls burning during combustion of fuel. Okay. Then the compounds of nitrogen play important role for the growth of plants. So, this nitrogen has important role in the growth of plants. As you all know, free nitrogen cannot be absorbed by plants. Free nitrogen cannot be intaken directly as such by the plants. Okay. Lightning and rain add nitrogen to the soil. So, because of all these things, lightning and rain, in soil naturally nitrogen will be added in the form of nitrates and nitrites, nitrates and nitrites. Okay. So, then once it has been this nitrogen has been transferred to nitrate and nitrites, then they can absorb, then the plants can absorb these nitrogen molecules through their roots, along with water, Then fertilizers also provide nitrogen to plants. Apart from this, fertilizers will also provide nitrogen to plants. Clear? So, in this way nitrogen is intaken by the plants and it is utilized for plant growth. Now, children, let us learn about the second main part, that is oxygen. Okay. So, about oxygen, 1/5 of air is made up of oxygen. 1/5 of air is made up of oxygen. It supports all animals and plant life on earth as well as all living organism which needs oxygen for respiration. So, all animals and plants need oxygen, isn't it? Yes. So, need oxygen for respiration. For what? Mainly for respiration. During respiration, we breathe in oxygen. What happens? We breathe in oxygen and gives out carbon dioxide. Carbon dioxide is released out. Oxygen burns food. So, the intaken oxygen, what it will do? It will burn the food what you are taking in, burns food and release energy, and as an end product you will be getting energy, okay, and release energy inside our body. So, we feel energetic if it is oxidized. If you are getting oxygen, we feel energetic. Oxygen is a source of respiration for aquatic plants and animals. Oxygen is a source of respiration for aquatic plants and animals. Oxygen is also essential for the combustion of fuels and supports burning. So, for lighting a candle, for burning anything, you need the presence of oxygen. You need the presence of oxygen. At high altitudes, air becomes thinner. What happens? So, you might notice people who are carrying oxygen cylinder, who are going up in mountains or deep inside the sea, will be having some oxygen cylinder. They are using that for support to breathe, is it not? Yes. So, that why? Because the air becomes thinner in high altitudes and in deep sea. That is why they are using oxygen cylinder. Clear? At high altitudes, air becomes thinner, so mountaineer carry oxygen cylinders. Divers going into deep sea, who's going into deep sea, will also use oxygen cylinder. Why? Because the air will be thinner deep inside the sea. Okay, clear? That is what about oxygen. Now children, let us continue with carbon dioxide. Carbon dioxide is present in very small amount in the atmosphere, but its presence is very important. Its presence is very important. It is required by plants for what? Photosynthesis, isn't it? Yes. Then carbon dioxide is responsible for trapping the sun's heat, and it is also responsible for greenhouse effect. Okay. Then it is easily liquefiable. Okay. Then it is moderately soluble in water. This carbon dioxide is moderately soluble in water, so that they are using in carbonation of soft drinks. They are using in carbonation of soft drinks. Then it is used in the manufacture of urea. It is also used in the manufacture of urea. It does not support combustion. It does not support combustion, and so they are using that for, it is used to extinguish fire. Extinguish fire. Clear children? Yes. So children, now we are going to learn about water vapor. Okay. So what is water vapor? Water evaporates in air, and that is called as water vapor, isn't it? Yes. Water evaporates from the surface of water bodies. From where? From the surface of water bodies, and it forms water vapor. It forms water vapor. Then next thing is about humidity. What do you mean by humidity? The amount of water vapor present in air, the moisture content in air, the amount of water vapor or the moisture content in the air is called as humidity. Is called as humidity. Then the composition of water vapor varies from place to place. So the moisture content will vary from place to place or region to region or season to season. It might vary with all these things: place, region and season. Clear? Then for example, concentration of water vapor is more in coastal region. What is coastal region? Coastal region is a place near to sea. Okay. So in this place automatically air has more water vapor, isn't it? The moisture content will be more. That is what. In coastal places like Chennai and Mumbai, they have more water vapor in the air. They have more water vapor in the air. Why? Because the moisture content will be more. Whereas places such as Rajasthan have, you all know Rajasthan is a desert place, isn't it? Yes. They have lesser amount of water vapor in the air. In that place, desert region, the air has less amount of water vapor. So the presence of water vapor in air is important for the continuation of water cycle in nature. So based on the presence of water vapor in air, water cycle will be carried out. So that is important for water cycle. Clear children? Yes. Children, now we are going to learn about dust and smoke. Okay. So, the amount of dust particles and smoke in air, it varies from place to place. It varies from place to place. In some place it might be more, in some place it might be less. So, it depends upon the place. It is more near construction sites. It is more near construction sites, road sites and cement manufacturing factories and cement manufacturing factories. In all these places, dust and smoke will be more. In some places it might be less also. Clear children? Yes. Children, now you can see the picture for oxygen cycle. You can see that here there is a tree and then it is receiving the sunlight from the sun, isn't it? Yes. So, by the presence of sunlight, it is preparing their food, that is photosynthesis, so that oxygen will be released, and this oxygen is utilized by the animals which are staying here, isn't it? Yes. See here, carbon dioxide is intaken, that is released out by the animals, that is intaken by the plants, and then animals and plants, here animals are intaking oxygen and then plants release oxygen during photosynthesis. Clear? And this is atmosphere. Okay? Yes. In this oxygen cycle, the percentage of oxygen in the air remains constant. The percentage of oxygen in the air remains constant even though it is continuously used for respiration and combustion. Plants, animals and human beings, what it will do? They use oxygen. They use oxygen for respiration during the day as well as night. The rate of photosynthesis is very high during the day. So, the release of oxygen will be more in daytime, okay, will be very high during the day as well as at night. Plants produce and release much more oxygen than they consume during respiration. Plants will produce and release much more oxygen. It will release more oxygen than they consume during respiration. Clear? So, thus the amount of oxygen in the atmosphere is sufficient for the respiration of animals as well as human beings. I repeat, the amount of oxygen in the atmosphere is sufficient for the respiration of animals as well as human beings. So, this cycle of consumption and release of oxygen in nature, that is called as oxygen cycle. Cycle of consumption and release of oxygen in nature is called as oxygen cycle. Clear children? Yes. Children, now let us learn about role of atmosphere. Okay? So, the role of atmosphere. The atmosphere maintains right amount of temperature on earth. Okay? Right amount of temperature on earth, the heat and light of the sun first falls on the atmosphere. It is a layer that is surrounding the earth, isn't it? Yes. So, the heat and light of the sun first falls on the atmosphere. Then this blanket, that layer, atmosphere layer or blanket, allows only a limited amount of heat and light to fall on earth's surface. So, it allows only a limited amount of heat and light to reach the Earth's surface. Then this prevents Earth from becoming too hot during daytime and cooling down too much. Cooling down too much. The atmosphere causes the changes in weather. The atmosphere causes the changes in weather. The hot air rises up and the cool air occupies the hot air place. Okay. The cool air takes its place. So, this is how the winds blow. Hot air rises up and the cool air takes the hot air place. This is how the winds blow. Clear, children? So, this is what about role of atmosphere. Children, now let us learn about ozone layer. So, what is ozone layer? High up in the Earth's atmosphere, in the region between up to 10 to 50 kilometer, which is present a layer of ozone gas. So, this layer is filled with ozone gas. Then this layer is about 93 to 99% of UV radiation from the sun. So, it is about 93 to 99% of UV radiation. From where they are getting this UV radiation? From the sun. So, most of the UV rays are harmful rays. They are harmful rays. Okay. Exposure to UV rays can cause skin cancer and eye problems. So, we will be getting health issues if we are exposed to UV rays. Therefore, the presence of ozone layer is very important for the existence of life. So, this layer, ozone layer, is protecting us from the harmful rays. That is what ozone layer. Clear, children? Yes. Children, now let us learn about uses of air. Okay. So, air is not only required for respiration and photosynthesis, but it is also used in a number of ways. We all know they are mainly used for respiration and photosynthesis. Apart from that, they are having so many usage. It is also used in number of ways. Air helps in dispersal of pollen grains, and seeds, and thereby in the multiplication and survival of plants, air is utilized. Okay. Then air plays an important role in water cycle. It is used in water cycle. To maintain the water cycle, air is used. Water evaporates from water bodies in the form of water vapor. Water evaporates from water bodies like seas, river, lakes, oceans and all. Water evaporates. Then it is evaporated in the form of water vapor in air, where in air, and then it is restored back in the form of rain. It is coming again in the form of rain. So, this is what water cycle. So, to maintain this water cycle, air is having an important role. Air plays an important role. Then air is essential for the movement of aeroplane, helicopters and parachutes. So, this is what about uses of air. Children, now the last part of the chapter, that is air pollution. Okay. So, what do you mean by air pollution? Some undesirable substances are added in the air. So, let us learn about that. It has large amount of undesirable substances. What is that? Such as harmful gases, chemicals, dust particles and other harmful materials. All these will be there into the atmosphere. into the atmosphere. So, these undesirable substances are called as pollutants. So, these are the main causative pollutants. Okay. Then, the major causes of pollutions or emission from factories. There are so many causes. The major causes: emissions from factories, and then burning of coal and fuel, and then vehicular emissions and burning of wood, so many. Okay. Then air pollution causes various lung diseases. It causes various lung diseases in human beings, and also results in breathing disorders. Prevention of air pollution at all levels is desirable for a better life. So, we have to prevent air pollution for a better life. So, for that we have to take some steps. Clear, children? Yes. Now, children, you can see here a lighted candle, isn't it? Yes. So, now I am going to explain about the importance of oxygen for burning through this activity. So, what I am going to do, the candle is lighted. Now, I am going to cover this burning candle with a glass bottle. Okay. So, we will see what will happen. Yes, children, now I kept the glass bottle upside down. Now, you can see that the lighted candle, that is, the fire has been extinguished, isn't it? Yes. Why? What happens? The candle extinguishes because there is no supply of oxygen. Oxygen is cut off when it is covered with this glass bottle, and hence the candle stops burning. Can you see this? Yes. So, this is what the importance of oxygen for burning. Clear, children? Yes. Children, now an activity for you all. So, what are you going to do? You are going to choose a room in your house that receives lot of sunlight. Close all the doors and windows of that room. Okay. Then open a door or window facing the sun. Notice the incoming sunbeam. So, if you are noticing, you can see that sunbeam has large number of tiny dust particles. That is because of air contains dust. Okay. So, you just take a photocopy and then forward in your class email ID. So, this is your activity. Clear, children? Yes. So, children, with this we have come to an end of this chapter. So, after watching the video, practice well, learn well. So, let us meet in the next class. Thank you all.